What's up guys, I'm Ivan Calderon and today we're going to be talking about Splice. Alright guys, so today we're talking about a website that I've been using a lot recently and one that I thought could benefit you guys, especially if you're a producer or maybe like an artist who makes their own beats. The site that I'm talking about today is Splice. Now, if you're new to Splice completely, then basically what it is a sound library of samples and loops and one-shots that you get access to for a monthly fee. So yes, it is a subscription service, but essentially how it works is depending on whatever level of the subscription you choose, you get a certain amount of credits. Now these credits you exchange for your content, your material. And usually it's 1 for 1. So one sample, one shot will be 1 credit. Some things do cost a little bit more, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But aside from a sound library, Splice is just so much more. It is also a community space, a marketplace, and even a mobile studio of sorts. So let's talk about it. All right, so we're diving into my personal account here, and as soon as you log in, you're kind of presented with this dashboard. Now it's nothing crazy, nothing extravagant, just kind of has a little bit of updates here and there. Now if you take a look at the top left corner, we do have some tabs. We have the studio, community, sounds, and plugins. I'm going to be starting off by going over the sounds tab, because I do think that is kind of like the bulk of the website, but I will be going over the other tabs shortly afterwards. So if you take a look, if you hit over the sounds tab, you're brought over to a more appealing, I guess, part of the site. Here you're presented with top packs, which are pretty much just songs and samples that are currently ranking within the website. You have recent releases, some featured packs. But if you take a look again at the top left, we're gonna have that browse feature here. We have charts again, so just things that are currently ranking in the site. Presets, which we'll talk about in a minute. Likes, so if you ever come across a sample that you like, just hit that like button, that little heart, and it'll actually deposit them into this category for easy access. You also have your downloads tab, so whatever you download, again, it can be easily accessible in this tab here. And then the beatmaker section, which we'll talk about in a minute. But essentially, this is what you're presented with when you go to the sounds tab. If you go over to the search bar, you can kind of search your heart's content here. I mean, literally, melodic loops, one-shots, you name it. So let's say, for example, I'm making a beat, and I'm looking through my personal sample library, and I can't find the perfect kick. Well, I can come in here and search. I can literally type in kick, and right off the bat, you're presented with an array of different packs, some even from popular producers like Lex Luger. So I can come down here and kind of audition the different packs, or the different samples, excuse me. So on the far right, you do have that like button that I was talking about, and of course the download. Now if you take a look, that does say that it costs a credit. Now if you hit that button, it'll ask you to verify. You just hit yes, it'll charge you a credit, you'll get your sample. Now this works for anything. Like I said, I can go up here and maybe type in snare, and I totally spelled that wrong. So I can come down here and again audition different samples. Now, like I mentioned, this is not only just for one-shots, this could also be for melodic loops. So if I'm making something, maybe like a beat in the hip-hop genre, then I can just go up here and be as vague as I want to be and just type in hip-hop. And that'll give me, and I can go up here and instead of doing one-shots, select loops. And again, just a different array of things for you to kind of cycle through. Now, if you take a look, if you've already downloaded something, then it'll show, the little arrow will show as green, so you don't have to spend credits again. You can download it as many times as you want, which is a great feature. Now, the other day I was kind of rummaging through the site and I found a sample that you guys might be familiar with. It's off of Kendrick's recent album, Damn. So I actually put it in my likes tab for easy access. It is in a pack called Organic Future Hip Hop. So if you click on that, it is actually the third one. It's called Changed Dopey. So take a listen. Now, if you listen to that album that I'm talking about, Damn by Kendrick, then you know this is a sample that was used in the song Feel. Obviously, the producer here either had access to Splice or maybe the sample from somewhere else, but at least for our purposes, that specific sample off of Feel, off of that Damn album, you can find in this Organic Future Hip Hop pack. So the other cool thing too, like I said, is a lot of producers, a lot of popular producers, they upload their packs on here. So I'm a huge fan of Cardiac's drums. So I can actually go up here and type in Cardiac, and a lot of his stuff comes up, some older stuff, some newer stuff, but you can definitely have access to download that as you will. So again, that is the browse section. You can kind of, like I said, search for whatever you want. There is a variety of different sounds for you to play with. But if we go over to the top left again, we're gonna go over to this preset tab here. Well, aside from one-shots and melody loops, what this site is also good for is for presets. If you take a look here, they kind of give you 4 popular plugins for VST: Serum, Sylenth, Massive, and Spire. And they allow you to download presets from these VSTs. So I'm a huge advocate of Sylenth. I love the plugin. And if I'm ever looking for something that I don't have for a beat, I can kind of go in here. So let's say I'm looking for a lead. I can click on that. Now diving in real quick, you're gonna have different parameters to play with. You can also choose between different filters, so maybe if you want something dry or airy, so on and so forth, you can definitely have that option to pick it yourself. But again, you go down here and you audition them. Now presets do cost a little bit more. I think they're like 3 credits. Yep, oh no way, that one's free. 3 credits, so there's some that are free. But most of them are 3 credits, so they are a little bit more. But you do have that option, so that's always great. And then the last kind of section of this tab that I want to talk about, which I just found out and I think it's fantastic, is this Beatmaker tab. So if you click on it, you're kind of presented with like this sequencer, this arranger window, so to speak, that allows you to use samples from the website to make a beat on your own by clicking in different blocks. Now, this is why this is so cool to me. Let's say, for example, and let's choose one real quick so you guys can hear. I'm gonna choose one from Lex Luger. Gives you the BPM. You can kind of, and it loops, so you can play that. But here's what's so cool about it for me. Let's say, for example, you're out and about and you don't have all your equipment with you. Well, you can use this website to, in this feature, to kind of make a beat from the samples that you find on the site. And then what you could also do, besides save it to the site, of course, is download it. Now here you have a couple options. You can download it as audio WAV files, and of course that will charge you, that'll cost you certain credits. But the cool thing, for me at least, is that you can download also the MIDI files. So let's say you don't want to spend your credits, let's say you actually really don't like these sounds, you can just use this platform to lay an idea down, to get a foundation, to get different patterns laid out, and later when you get home, just download the MIDI files, import them into your DAW, and then kind of, you know, select different sounds that you already own to finish the beat. So that to me was a game changer. But essentially that is what this feature is, and that will wrap up the sounds tab. So moving on, if you go over and hit that studio tab to the top left, you're gonna be presented with the studio portion of this website. Now I just showed you guys the Beatmaker feature, but this kind of expands on that mobile studio aspect of the site that I was talking about. Now you can see here that I was messing around with a couple things to test it out and review it for you guys. But essentially what this allows you to do is start a project and open it up to the public, to the Splice community, for them to help you finish a beat and add on to it, or you can send it to a friend to collaborate with. So if you take a look here, you can click on new project, you can start a blank project, or you can import from your computer. You can of course give it a name, something like test, and you can actually specify what DAW you want to use. So if you want to use Live 9, Live 8, Logic 10, Fruity Loops, GarageBand, or maybe just audio waves. I had one open already, so I'm gonna open that up. And you see here, I uploaded a lead from a beat that I was working on before. And essentially what I can do from here is release it. So I specified that I was working in Logic. I can release it to the public, to the Splice community. And what they can do is they can splice it, which is the term that they use, which essentially means that they open it up, you open it up to collaboration, and they can add their own stems to it. They can download it in Logic, they can kind of work on it, re-upload it. And every time someone does this, it creates a derivative. So everybody gets credited along the way, and you can end up making something really nice. But you could also, like I said, go here and add a collaborator. So if I have a friend who uses Splice, I can go ahead and add their email address or their username, send it their way, they can kind of do what they have to do, and that's that. Moving on, we're going over to the community section. Now this is where I said when you release a track, it gets sent to. Here you can kind of browse whatever people are putting out. And like, let's say for example, this one here, I know that they made it in Fruity Loops. They have about 18 plugins. It's a trap beat, 75 BPM, and it's a remake. but they opened it up for collaboration. So I can actually click Splice here, and I can see exactly what they're using, the different blocks, the arrangement. I can open it up in Fruity Loops and continue, and then re-upload it and add my derivative on there. Aside from splicing things or collaborating with others, you could also, like I said, use this as a marketplace. Because I saw someone here before, so this guy, he has a song called Love Is, and he is selling the template, the tutorial, and the stems in Logic 10 off of his Selfie account. So you can kind of get a preview of what he's doing. If you like it and you want to purchase it, you can kind of head over to his Selfie account. So he has that there for $18.85. So essentially you can go in there and start making a little bit of money for yourself. It's just a way for you to kind of monetize your efforts. And then of course you also have things like contests. So this is an official Splice contest. You go in here, you can enter the contest yourself. And it looks like winners get to cliff top parties. So that sounds like a good time to be had. You can kind of go here and see the submissions, get the files, share with friends. And that in essence is a community tab. It's a place for you to kind of work with different people, collaborate, maybe sell a thing or two, and enter some contests to win some really nice things. So the last tab on this website is the plugins tab. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is probably the weakest point of the entire site, because although they do have some free VSTs, like 9 times out of 10, they're really not that good. And the really good ones, like let's say for example, Contact here, all they do is just kind of redirect you to the manufacturer site. So if I hit that button there, it just takes me over to the Native Instruments website. So nothing fancy there. They do have a couple plugins that are rent to own, so that's pretty neat, I guess. But you can pretty much try it free and then pay as you go and eventually own it, which is the case for Serum here. Like I said, nothing too impressive. This is probably the weakest section, but I think for everything else that you're getting, it's really not that much of a deal breaker. All right, so you guys have heard everything that Splice has to offer, and you're probably wondering, well, Ivan, how much does this cost? What am I paying for this? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at their pricing options. All right, here it is. So essentially you have 4 options. You have 100 monthly credits for $7.99, you have 300 monthly credits for $13.99, 600 for $21.99, and 1,000 for $29.99. So personally, I'm on the first here, the 100 sample credits for $7.99, and this is probably the one that I recommend to most people. For the main reason that sample credits don't expire, they roll over. So this is great news. I've been a customer of Splice for 3 months now. I've been testing them out. So I should have 300 sample credits, and out of my time using them, I've only used 19. If you look at the top right here, I have 281 left. And this is while I'm making beats on a weekly basis. So I would say unless you know you're gonna be someone who is just downloading things like crazy because you just wanna have a huge library, I would get the first option. That's the most economical, it makes the most sense, especially because credits roll over. So you're really not losing anything. All right, so final thoughts on Splice. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I think for $8 a month, which is probably the cost of a meal if you eat out once in a month, in any given month, this is absolutely worth it. I mean, this is the cost of like Netflix. So 100%, I can't recommend it more. I would honestly probably pay for this before I pay for Netflix, because this is an investment into your career. But again, for all that you get a huge sound library of sounds that you kind of get to pick from and you know, help you make your beats. You also get a community space where you can collaborate with other people, and you get a mobile studio. So if you're out and about, you can kind of use this site to lay down ideas, maybe to finish a beat completely. So is it worth it? Absolutely. I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, for $8, I think it's a fantastic investment. All right, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share it if you see fit. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and maybe down below tell me what your favorite feature of Splice is, or maybe if you'd consider getting it for yourself. But that is it for me. Once again, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.